Alright, so we got our car. We need to do a little more sanding on it. This inside edge right here. We need to take this sandpaper and just kind of lightly do that. So hold it over the paper and do that. Just knock the sharp edge off the inside of it. Can you see what I'm talking about? The sharp edge? I'll see if I can find the dye we're going to use.
Top one's pretty much rounded. I got the bottom one pretty good. Sides might need a little rounding.
I thought it was in there. You know what? Not. Check a different bin. Thought that's where it was, but it's not in that bin. You understand?
I got them sanded already.
All right.
Probably a good plan to dye it before we add the tail end.
Well, this is leather dye. I have some wood dye too, but we happen to have a whole lot of leather dye because we dyed that leather couch that one time.
Yeah.
So we bought a bunch of this. So we're going to use this leather dye instead of the wood dye because I have a bunch of it and it's, well, cheap, right?
Yeah.
So let's make sure we got it all where we want it.
We're gonna dye the car, but first we're gonna need to weigh it.
Okay, well, first thing when you do get this, I think I can tell it's already too heavy, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to lighten it. So what I want to do is I want to weigh it with all the parts we're going to use, and then we'll see how much it weighs, and we'll see how much we need to take off of it. Because right now we're at 5.4, and we don't even have any parts on it, right?
Yeah.
That means it's got to be a lot lighter. But I think what we can do, because you wanted to put a window back here,
Yeah.
so one of the things we can do is we can drill into here to lighten that up, or even drill in the front, but we can also take some of this bottom out.
Yeah.
So we're going to lighten it first, so let's work on that. So we got about 0.6 ounces worth of parts that we need to take out. So we need about a little over ½ ounce to come out of here. We'll have to think about where to take it out at. So we're going to take some more wood out of it because it's a little heavy, right? Because we added so much wood.
Yep.
But that's all right. We can take wood out. So we're going to use one of these. And in order to keep from scuffing up our car, we're going to use this leather. I thought I just felt something sharp in it, but I don't feel it now. Okay. So we're going to use this leather on our car like this. So when we put it in the vise, it won't make big yucky scratches and dents and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You want to put this in here. The leather will cushion it a little bit. And I think we're going to put it in there just a little bit. A little crooked, I think. Alright. So, we can't cut into this axle because that's got to hold our stuff. So we want to stay away from that. I think we had this one fairly sharp, right? So what we need to do is take a bunch of wood out to make it lighter.
I might be able to drill that.
Yep. Bit and brace in there. Tighten her down. I don't remember if this is one of the ones we sharpened or not. It seems like it's fairly decent. Alright, so we want to stay away from our axle line. We'll stay back about here, right? Let's draw a center line on there so we can get them in the middle. These are going to be visible when we're done, right? Probably at least make them straight, reckon? Okay. We'll draw a line between those. Like this. We should end up right down the middle of the car. Right? Alright, so we can't go all the way through the hood. That's the back of the car. We want to take it out of the front of the car primarily, right? So remember, we want the weight to be high.
Yeah.
So let's try putting a hole. Oops. I don't want to clamp it too tight, but it seems like it wants to. Crank it.
Yeah. You push on it now.
I'll hold it and you crank the handle. Okay, don't push down too far. Alright, well, there's one hole. You gonna put another one behind it?
I think, yeah. At least 3 holes ought to do it.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how much weight we got to take off of her, right? All right, you want to crank it?
There's a mountain of chips.
Well, let's clean it out so we make sure we're not blowing through. We want to blow through the top of the car, right? See how we're doing. That's a better hole, right?
Yep.
Blow it out there or what? You look like you were going to blow the dust out. 5.1. Still need to take some more out.
Let's drill that 3rd hole out.
The 3rd hole?
Yeah.
Well, the 3rd hole can go down a bit deeper. Because remember, we couldn't blow through the hood here. The 3rd hole, right there,
Yeah.
it can go down pretty far.
Pretty far, by far.
All right, start cranking.
No pain, no gain. We're going to go fairly fast.
All right, see how deep we are.
Big mound of chips.
Blow it around. You keep acting like you're gonna blow it, and I don't want to bend down and get dust in my face, but then you just stop. All right. Well, I think what we might do, see how it's kind of tearing out anyway?
Yeah.
I wonder if we should chisel these square.
Mmm.
Look at that. That'd take off a little more wood too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Go a little lower here. I don't want to blow through the top, right? Alright, see where we're at. Yeah, see we got, if we think about that screws here is the problem, right? So even though the hole's flat here, if we draw a pencil in here and measure it, that means our hole comes up to there, which we're still pretty good on. But the screw is longer again, not much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to go too deep. Let's weigh it and see what we got. We can chisel away some of that wood too.
I bet we're going to be exact same weight.
Well, it took a lot of wood off. Can't be the exact same weight. That's not how weight works, right?
It can be the exact same weight.
4.9 ounces. How much weight did we say these were? They were less than an ounce, right? The extra parts?
Yep.
Well, we're up to 5.4 now, so we still got to take off some more. Take off some more. I think if we chisel this out, though, you know what I mean? Make it square. Rectangular hole instead.
Yeah.
Mallet. And we want to make these straight across, more squarish. More of a rectangle, right? So we're going to have a line here. And then we can have a line here. Like so. And I think we'll just go ahead and make this stay. Maybe keep that round for now.
Yeah.
Alright. Give her a couple taps. That one's coming right out. You see it bust off?
Yeah.
Pine. Not very, hold on. Pine's not very strong wood. Here we go. Right, well. I can push that off there. Let's see if we can chisel that one out of there. Alright. Get those out of the way, right? And then a couple more times. And that one a couple more times too. Can't see right. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just trying to see. Go ahead. There you go. Can't see. My hands are all in the way. Alright, so there's that. And remember to straighten up, we just walk the blade down like this, right?
Yeah. You said walk the blade, not walk your dog.
Yep.
think we once did that with the SpongeBob car to make the seats.
Yep, we had to cut the middle out of the seats, didn't we? Yep, I think we can chisel more of that out. I don't want to go too deep. We're pretty close to busting through the windshield there, so I think we'll have to stop right there. So let's go ahead and smooth that up with a chisel. See where we end up, right?
Yep.
If we decide to add a motor like you were talking about, we're going to end up too heavy, so we'll have to cut enough out to clear the motor too, remember?
We might not need the motor though.
I'm just saying, you wanted one on there.
Should I whack it many times?
Hack it a couple times. We're knocking the chip out. We're just not hitting it random. Go ahead. We're knocking wood out. Can you see what we're doing?
Yep.
See I'm knocking these chips out?
Yep.
We're not just macking it for randoms. Good.
Do it a good old whamorama.
We're trying to knock that wood out. We're not just smacking it. To accomplish something. Give her a smack. What? There again. Okay. I think we'll scrape those out. We'll see where we are now.
Usually we need to add weight, not take it off.
Yeah, usually. We'll check our weights again. Well, I think our roof is doing it because we added a big chunk of block of wood right there, right? So I think it's the roof doing it on this one. Well, usually we don't add a big chunk of roof, right? We'll see. So I think this is a heavy chunk of pine. Should have probably used a lighter wood. I just used what was in the scrap pile, right? But I think that top piece, it's heavy, which is good because that's where you want our weight when we're going to race it. We want our weight to be up there, right? So that's good, but should have used a lighter piece of wood, I think. That's where we are now. 4.8.
We could always glue wood back in it.
Yep.
If it's too light.
Well, the nice thing about having it too light is you can put the weight where you want it. Okay. I think we got her just about. I'd like to get that a little cleaned up a little bit better in there so it doesn't look so splintery. But I think we're the right weight. Let's pause this and then we'll go dye it. Maybe get ready to dye it. What do you think?
I think
Alright.
we're gonna dye it.
Yep, so we removed enough wood to make up for the wood we added, right?
Yep.
We can put probably this little one right here because we don't need that much dye. And I thought we'd use one of these brushes.
Disposable brush.
Yeah, it's disposable. It's a disposable chemical brush. Thought we'd use one of those. Now I'm thinking that this should dye this wood really well. So I'm hoping it'll come out real good. But this is messy stuff, so we don't want to touch it a lot because it'll get everywhere. It's really watery. And it's going to get everywhere. So we're going to set that down, put the lid on it so we don't spill the rest of it,
Looks
right?
like coffee with paint in it.
Yeah, and I already touched it, look.
Oh no! Ah.
Alright. So I think we should dye the bottom first. So you wanna try to do it?
Yeah. It's...
Okay, let's see if it's gonna work. See it splashing with the brush?
Yeah.
So don't splash too much. Is that gonna be black enough?
I think that'll be black enough. It smells like
Well, it's got
spray paint.
alcohol in it. It's got a bit of an alcohol smell, right? Let me get this inside, and then we'll let you do the top. How's that? Because I'm afraid you're going to get all over your hands, and you still got school tomorrow, right? People are wondering what we're doing. You come back with your hands all dyed black.
They might think I stuck my hands in melty gloves.
Yeah. And the nice thing about dye, remember we dyed it last year? Remember the nice thing about having dye instead of paint? Remember why we used the dye?
Dye soaks in.
It soaks in, and you don't have to worry about runs. Like there's no paint run, right? Because it soaks in, and it won't run. And it'll all end up with the same color without big streaks or runs or anything in it, right? which is hard to get away from on a car like this. If you're painting this little car yourself, really hard to get the runs off of it and make a nice smooth coat, but this soaks into the wood and just leaves the wood surface there, so it works out pretty good.
I don't think we've ever had to take weight off. We've only had to slam it
Well,
on.
this is the most wood we've ever added to a car, right? We've never added this much wood to a car before. Usually we add just a little bit, but this, we've added a whole roof.
Now, speaking of hollowing of Dodges, do not hollow your dad's Dodge.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't have one, huh?
Also, don't dye your dad's Dodge either.
Okay. Well, you're going to need your glasses for this because it splashes a little bit.
He means safety glasses. I do not wear glasses.
Used to.
Oh yeah, right.
All right. Let me get up these bottoms a little bit so you don't have to pick the car up because you're going to get this all over your fingers if you pick the car up, you reckon?
Hop bottom feet up.
Oh, we should get this grill good too, right? Now, I don't want you to get this all over your fingers. Like I said, you got school tomorrow. I want them to think you did something weird.
They might think, is that kid secretly a chemist or something?
You think you're a chemist, huh?
Yeah.
I imagine they think you just got into something dumb.
Maybe they thought I found a paint can and stuck my hands in it.
All right. Paintbrush.
Thank you.
All right. Paintbrush in there. You hold it like a pencil. There you go, like that. Dip it in there a little bit. And then put it on the car. Very good. Keep going. Like I said, the nice thing about this is it won't run, right? It looks like it's running, but it'll soak in and end up all the same layer.
Oops.
You don't spray it too much. It splashes out of there, man. It'll make a real mess, won't it? That stuff everywhere. Teach you a little bit more in the camera. There you go. So they're all coated.
Not like you're gonna want to see me make a fool of myself, are ya? Thought you might wanna. People love when to see people make fools of themselves.
Well, just do this side. I'll turn around so you can get the other side, okay? Just do the side you can see, and I'll spin it around. And then you get the other side. And then you get these trophies delivered too, you know what? Won't be no trophies for the other scouts if I don't get them delivered. Have a Pinewood Derby, no trophies if I don't get these trophies delivered. Okay, make sure you don't have that line. See that dry spot right there in the middle of the hood? Right there, there's a spot right here where you made a line. There you go. You went across. Should go with the grain. Always paint with the grain. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah, same direction of grain. That little spot's there again. Right there on the hood. You got one there, and then right on the corner you got one here. There you go. Now get the roof. Get a little more dye on the brush. Looks like we're running out. Goes a long way, doesn't it?
Well, as I would say, a little me goes a long way too.
A little more on the brush. You're starting to run out of dye. Gotta have enough that soaks in. There you go. Make sure you get that light spot on the windshield. You still got a light spot on the windshield you didn't go. And a little spot right there on that corner too. This corner. Right there.
Oh.
Alright, let me spin her around. You got one there too? How about this spot right there? Is that a light spot? There you go. Alright, we're going to spin her around so we can see the other side now, right? There you go. Nice good coat. Got all of it in there. Might need a second coat, I don't know, you think? Is it dyeing good? Coming out pretty black, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is black.
The nice thing about this leather dye, get that spot there too. If we use a fabric dye usually comes out a little purple. This leather dye comes out really black. What do you think so far? Coming out all right?
I think it's coming out blacker than black.
That's what you had in mind?
Yep.
All right, try to do our best.
We still probably ought to do that red bumblebee stripe.
Yeah, we can do a stripe on it. We'll use the paint markers for that. The nice thing about using this dye is we can color over it. We can use these paint markers, which they might not know about on the use it?
Yep.
Tube. So instead of using paintbrushes, which you're not very good with, right? Instead of using paintbrushes, we'll use these colored paint markers. And they come in all the colors, and these are even shiny metallic type colors here, right? And that should be all the colors we need. So these ones are big.
Maybe for around the grill we'll use metallic.
I think inside the grill we should do a metallic silver. You know?
Yeah.
So we'll use these paint markers to do it. That way we don't have to worry about it too much. And you won't have to have a brush because brushes are hard to use, right? We'll let that dry and then we can use some masking tape. And if we use masking tape, we'll protect the wood so you can get a little messy, right? Because without the masking tape, if you get it in the wrong spots, it won't work, right?
But that doesn't mean we can just drop the whole car and
No, you're gonna have to be careful with it. I think it was all right. Let's let her dry. Zoom in, or maybe. Okay.
We dyed it, but now we're gonna put polyurethane on it.
Yeah, we don't want the dye to come back off, and I got my fingers all.
I said polyurethane, not polyurethane.
Oh, polyurethane. This is just clear polyurethane. I'm going to do the bottom again like we did last time, okay?
Then I'll do the top.
Yep. So I'm going to put it on this pen right here. Alright. And you can use the brush. It's rocking on a pen, so don't knock it off the pen, okay?
So where have we not
The
slimed
top.
it?
You can see where it isn't clear. Can't you?
Nice soft strokes.
Yeah. We'll brush it. Come on. What are you doing? You're playing. You don't overdo it now. Just, yeah. Got a little bit too much on your brush. See how wet it is?
Yeah.
It's alright. This side where you can see it, I'll spin it. Like last time, you're trying to do the side you can't see. Let me get some off here before it melts our dye a little bit. Okay? Got a big glob on there.
Glob.
There you go. Get in there. Come on, get in there.
Kind of
the side. Come on.
turns when I want it to
Well,
turn.
I will try to hold it. How's that? Get the side of the window.
That's doing pretty good.
Okay, we'll get the back. You got that spot there you haven't gotten. Gotta get it all before it dries. You won't be able to see what you got. With the grain, with the grain. Let me turn around. Alright, get this side. You might need a little more stuff on your brush. You want to get that window good right on the side, right? Here, let's do this. You got quite a bit right here where you gobbled on. So let's brush that into our brush. And then we can use that to finish here. What do you think? Alright, I think we're all set. Ready to let it dry, right?
Yep.
Came out pretty black. It's black.
And it's a certain dodgy kind of black.
Think so?
Yep. Okay. So we got the dye on. We had to wait for it to dry. And our scale kind of went totally berserk, so now we need to add weight.
Well, I don't know. Our scales definitely decided to not be accurate, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. We can add weight though, because we got this hole back here,
Yep.
which would be an ideal place to put weight. So we can make a weight that goes in there, and we could custom the weight, and that'd be a good place to have the weight. So if it's too light, we'll just add weight there. Be all right.
If it's still too late, we could always add the awesome scoop also.
So we're not very good, you personally are not very good at making straight lines with paint, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to use masking tape to try to help us so that we can get good straight lines.
And we're going to use paint markers.
So I think first we should do this grill. So one of the first things I need to find out is if this tape is going to, I mean, it shouldn't pull our finish off, but you know, we got to test, right? So put tape on here, like this. We're going to smooth it on really good. It's not going to be on there very long. We need to make sure it's not going to peel. Yeah, we're good. See? No finish. So we're going to put this on. And we're going to cut this tape so that it covers the wood we don't want painted and leaves an opening for us to get paint marker in. Okay?
Okay.
So see, I'm making sure to get this inside corner with my thumbnail, because that's where we don't want the paint to be, right? We want it to stop right inside that grill opening, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And then we're going to take this knife, X-Acto knife.
Real sharp.
Yeah, well this one's, I've used it before. It's not terribly sharp. Probably need to sharpen it again, but we'll use it anyway.
Dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife?
Can be. We're going to go ahead and try to cut this tape roughly.
Run that in
It's
cutouts.
not cutting very good. Might need a sharper one, you know what?
Yeah.
We want to cut that out of the way.
I think if we do have a silvery type metallic color, we probably ought to do it with metallic.
I think we're going to do the inside here with metallic silver, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yep, metallic gray. Or silver, whatever.
And now this isn't going to keep all of the paint from getting on our wood. We got to still be kind of careful, okay? And it can't be completely wild. Alright, I'll try this tape instead. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit slipperier, and it's yellow. Got to be better because it's yellow, right? Alright, let me go see if I got another X-Acto knife blade that isn't so dull.
Now, never. You tape up the grill of a real charger and cut the tape on a real charger.
That's actually how I paint motorcycles and cars. I usually put tape on them. Remember how we did that guitar?
Oh, yeah.
We taped it all off, and then we cut the stripes out, and then we sprayed paint where the tape was, and the tape kept the paint from getting where we didn't want it and let it go into the other spots, right?
Yep.
Alright. So, now, I'll go ahead and wrap this tape around so it's out of our way. See if we can find our edge better now. I wasn't being able to find my edge very good. Okay, so we want that to be silver in there, right? That was your plan?
Yup. Can't we?
Alright, well, don't break the tip of my marker off. You're just trying to get it painted, not trying to scrape off the tip of my marker. So it's only going to color as fast as it's going to color. You're just going to have to take your time and get it all silvered up.
Little details at a time.
So we got that on there. Let's take our tape off and see how it looks. See how it got under our tape a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
That's alright. We'll clean it up.
Awesome. Might be able to run over it with black paint.
Well, yeah, we can use a black marker.
Yeah.
But since it's still kind of wet, we can just scrape it off. Yeah, we can go over it too if we need to, but for right now, let's just... So tape doesn't stop all of it. It'll still run under the tape, okay?
Oh.
So you gotta be kind of...
That's a pity.
Well, even when we sprayed your guitar, remember the paint went under the tape a little bit?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You get too much paint on it. That's why when you spray stuff with a spray gun, you kind of do light coats. And that keeps it from getting under your tape so bad. We're good. Okay. Silver. Silver grill.
Silver grill.
All right. It's not going to be very shiny because the wood's so rough there. It'll have to work, right? So I think we should do the same thing for the stripe, though. We should tape it off so that we can get it straight.
Yeah, because the stripe on the Lego car has a little black in front of it, a little black behind it.
Right. So I think what we should do is we should decide where we want our stripe. Maybe, I can't see very good with this tape. So we want to make sure we get it kind of straight. We want it back a little bit farther, right? Let's see what we got. Does that look straight? Sort of. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You want a less stripe than that?
I think,
you want more black on the back or less black on the back?
I think less black on the back.
So a tinier piece of black on the back?
Yeah.
Can't see very good. So you want like that much black on the back?
Yeah, like that much black.
Well, let's cheat because I can't see through my tape. So let's put the tape there, that tape, and then we'll line this tape up with that tape. What do you think? Use that kind of as a ruler?
Yeah.
So that's how much black you want left?
Yeah. You can always run over the red with a black marker later.
Well, yeah, but it will show. It's not going to fix it completely, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So you want that much black on the back. So we'll pull this tape off. We don't need it no more. We just used it to line this tape up, right?
And the stripe doesn't go all the way into that little curve into the windshield.
I'm not there yet, right? Right? Am I to the point you're talking about?
No.
I'm just asking, bud, because I don't know what you're talking about.
You know the little curve down where the roof starts?
Okay.
I think the stripe should stop when it begins to curve.
So stop right where it begins to curve. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't working on that part yet, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not screwing up and getting the tape on here, and then you want me to fix it later. Get it?
I get it.
You know, not the part I'm working on. That is not the part I'm working on right now, and I wanted to make sure. All right. So that's a line for the back. Now, same thing here. The paint is going to want to run under this tape, so we got to be kind of careful. We can smooth it down a little bit to make it try to help, but it's going to want to go under that tape, so we don't want to get too crazy. Got to get these wrinkles out of the paint. Will definitely go under those wrinkles. All right, so we want to avoid the edge of this tape if we can. You know what I mean? Because it'll bleed under it. So the tape's kind of like a little guideline. It's kind of try to help us.
I think we might need a tiny bit of black to write Hemi on the side.
We might do that. We'll see. I don't know how if we can write that neatly. You or me, right?
Definitely not me.
Well, then how are we going to write it on there? There is limitations to our abilities, you know. We might not be talented enough to do that.
Writing is basically my disability.
Well, and if we can't make it look good, then it might be better to not do it, right? You understand?
I understand.
All right. So there's that. And we got this red Posca pen, which these are water-based, so that's not going to shouldn't affect our paint at all. It means they run a little bit too, so you got to be kind of careful. So shake them all up. Spray paint can, right?
Usually a little bottle of glass or plastic in there.
I don't know what these have in it. And we got to get it working. And these they come out pink when you first start it, but it turns into a nice red when it dries. So it looks a little pink, right?
Yeah.
But it comes out really nice when it dries. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to let you do it, so you have to be careful. We're going to lightly get all the excess off. We're going to lightly color this. We want to avoid that tape, okay? See how I'm hitting the tape here?
Yeah.
It's going to run under that, but that's okay. It's on the bottom, right? Yeah. So try to avoid the tape and color it, and then I'll do one nice line around the tape.
I'm going to stay real clear of the tape.
Yeah? You say as you go over the edge of the tape. Slowly. Well, you're not. It's not a fast job. You can take your time. What else do you want? You wanted windows.
Yeah.
You wanted to have windows in it. So like I said, this darker one here, last time I did this. Yeah, it was this one, I think.
A dark silver might be good for the pillar.
Well, last time I did this, it made kind of a reflective, I don't know if you can get to the cars earlier we made before, easy. But when we did them before, I did that, and it made a pretty good window. We're going to have to mask that off too, though, because otherwise you won't be able to stay inside the window line, right?
Yep.
Do you think we ought to try to mask these windows off and do them?
Yeah.
Alright.
All about the, one sec here, paint marker.
So we definitely don't want on our hood, right? Don't want any of our paint to hit the hood. So put some there. And we definitely don't want it to come past here either, right?
Yeah. It's turning yellow on us.
Alright, and on this back, do you want the window to go all the way back here, or do you just want this straight line to be where the back window stops? I think it'd be alright if it just stopped there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The back window, or do you want me to cut this out so it goes all the way down?
I think the back window can just stop there.
Just like that?
Come to a screeching halt.
Let's not make it crooked. So let's try doing the edges first. Because we can line up where we want our edges to be, right? So if we do the edges, do you want the windshield to come down a little bit? That might be a better plan anyway, right? So
Yeah.
put tape.
Just go down until it hits the tape.
Well, let's do like we did on the back. Let's make our windshield frame that tall to begin with. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's do this. And then we'll use that as our line. We'll line our next piece of tape up with that.
Then we rip it off.
So we'll line our next piece of tape up with that piece, and hopefully we'll have a straight line, because I can't see through the tape, and it makes it kind of hard to get a nice straight line.
Tomorrow's going to be our lucky day, because it's the day we finally take off that tape, the metal case holding us from our dreams.
Let's do the same thing. Let's do the same thing for the back. Let's leave a bit of a window, right?
Yep. Tomorrow is also the day the journey of building this probably ends.
I don't know. We got some stuff to do yet. We have to wait and weigh it again now, because our scale was giving us some fits, right?
You'd have to order a new one, then weigh it.
I think that's what we tried to do. See if Mom can order us another scale, because that scale is giving us bad numbers, and we don't want bad numbers. We want to know how much it actually weighs, right? Okay, so we got all that.
Yeah, we kind of made a yellow Dodge with black specks and a red line.
Okay, so that's got that window line, it's got that window line, and that window line. We need to do these pillars. This window, we need to go down the back side here. This window doesn't go all the way here, though. It's got a pillar there, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll try to get some tape on that, too. Now, this tape isn't stuck down very good because they're tiny little pieces, so we'll have to be very careful we don't rub them out of the way accidentally. I don't want to do that, right?
You may have to paint there, but...
Well, like I said, you can paint the middles, and I can trim out the edge if you want. Supposed to work on it together, right?
Yep. It's supposed to be a...
Alright.
How do I phrase it? 2-man video.
Alright, so the idea is we're going to paint all the stuff that didn't have tape on it. So do we get them all right?
I think we got them all right.
Look okay? The windshield looks a little crooked, but I think it's just where our block is crooked. Our wood's a little crooked, right?
Now we need to pick a color, starting with this one.
I don't think so. I think we're going to use this dark. Remember we talked about using this dark?
Oh yeah, that one.
Because this one worked alright last time on the car I did.
Yeah.
Let me touch up this red here, because I touched it.
I think that was back when we did our first car.
Yeah, we did. This is the, what is this, number 4?
I'm not sure. I'll have to go look in my bedroom.
4th or 5th car we built, right? Well, you had to build one. You weren't in Lions, so you had to start in Tiger, right?
Yep.
So you had Tiger. You had Wolf. I guess maybe it's only 3. It's Tiger, Wolf, and Bear. Do I miss one?
Yeah, Tiger, Wolf, Bear.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd car. But I built a couple myself. I used to build one of my own while you were building it, so I wouldn't, so you could have some time to work on your own.
Yep.
Now we're just kind of building them together, right?
Yep. I think an SRT Speed Demon Dodge would work for next year.
Alright. So here's what I think we're going to do. This will do the same thing as the paint marker if we're not careful. It'll go under here. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and color these windows in a little bit. But you can avoid the tape, okay?
Okay.
See how I'm doing that? Do it nice and slow. The red's still a little wet, so don't touch that.
Whoa, 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 nearly fell off.
Well, do you want me to move the camera again?
It'll work.
I can move it back if you want it back.
I'll just move forward.
I figured you'd want to lean against the bench anyway. don't you hold it closer to the tip while you're holding it way at the top? There you go. Now you can control it better, right? And try to use more of the side of the tip. See how you're using the very point? There you go, like that. You can use the wide part of the tip.
Whoops, here he hit it, but he didn't.
And we get those all colored in and we'll see how they look. I think they'll look alright. And the nice thing about the marker is it dries really fast, unlike that paint, right?
Just trying to miss the tape.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna draw myself a little box. That's only where I can color. Alright.
Alright, well you got more windows. You're gonna do all the windows, right?
We don't want to have like, it's a windowless Dodge!
Have all the windows.
Oh, I crack myself up.
Off camera again. Alright, go ahead.
Bink.
So a lot of time putting tape on it just to put some color on it, but it ain't gonna come out nicer in the end, right?
Yep. Guess it could be a Dodge with half the windows shattered after a
I
crash.
don't think so. We'll get them colored in, make it look good.
I'm just gonna do a little draw box, an NO box.
Okay, we still can't see you coloring. You want me to move the camera back? I can move the camera towards you if
It'll
you want.
work, it'll
All
work.
right,
I don't
all
want
right.
him seeing my face.
Alright, alright. Just trying to help you out here, but
I
I
want,
can move it a little bit. Let's see if we can move it a little bit, because you keep wanting to move right up against your belly.
I've only got one window left though.
Alright, well there you go. I moved it just a bit. Try it.
Here goes.
You keep wanting to move, you want to move right up against your chest instead of using your arm muscles.
That's not okay. Alright.
Well, alright, we got a little bit crooked, but we can line them out. So now that we got the background filled in, right? See, I'm going to run across the tape. Are you paying attention to me or looking at the camera? See, I'm coming off the tape.
Yeah.
And what that does, if I come off the tape, it keeps me from pushing paint under the tape.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of makes like a ramp. Don't elbow me.
Whoops.
Makes like a ramp over the tape so it won't get under the tape. Because otherwise, if I wear it up against it, it'll start trying to push paint under that tape, right?
And soon it'll be a window Dodge.
So we're going to brush the tape over it. Nice straight line on the bottom.
We only have 2 more details.
I'm going to do this in the same way. I'm going to come over the tape
The wheels
from
and
the
tail.
edge.
I take it our grill should be dry right now, right?
Yeah, it's probably dry, yeah.
We might be able to tack the headlights and taillights on today.
I think so.
I got the glue.
You found it? Alright.
Now don't get this stuff on your hands. It'll glue your fingers together for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, super glue can be messy stuff, right? Alright, so I think we got them all done. You're happy with the windows?
I'm happy with the
Where'd
windows.
my marker go? We need a little, see that little dot right there? Didn't get any marker on it?
Yep.
Let's get that filled in. Make sure no other dots we missed.
I don't think there's any other
One
dots.
right there.
Maybe we ought
We're
to
good.
drench it in chips when we finish it.
You keep wanting to play in the metal chips, but that's not very helpful, is it?
Yeah, maybe I won't do any chip throwing.
Alright, well let's see what it looks like when we take tape off. Let's see how bad our paint bled under our tape, because that's going to be the important part, right?
Wow, it's got pillars and everything. Wonder how the bumblebee stripe turned out.
We'll get to it in a minute.
Maybe that's as red as it gets.
Well, it'll be alright, I think, right? I don't think it's completely dry yet. It's still kind of a little wet.
I don't know. Maybe it never turns red. Maybe it's pink.
And we'll just have a slightly pink one, won't we? Reckon?
We can always paint it.
Paint it would be hard to get a straight line. Anything in the windows?
I like them. Looks almost like it were a real Dodge. I guess that's a concept, isn't it?
Well, learning how to mask off stuff is a valuable skill, especially if you're going to paint cars or motorcycles.
And we mean valuable, like 500 rubies.
Well, I made a lot of money painting cars and motorcycles for a while. You know that, right?
Yeah, you could make a fortune.
That's how I paid for my college tuition, dude. A lot of money's in motorcycles. Now see how we bled under our tape a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if we can scrape that line. So we don't have a very clean line there. Remember I told you it would bleed under our paint, our tape? And that's what happened, right? So let's see if we can clean that up now before it gets all the way dry by lightly scraping our red off.
It does look kind of dodgy now. I think we're just about done.
We're getting there, aren't we?
We just gotta put the bumper silver.
Yep.
We might not need to mask that. Because the bumblebee stripe will stop it, and the rest of it's just gonna be on the bottom.
Well, we'll see. Alright. We got a stripe on the back. Right.
And look at that.
There's a little pink still. I'm hoping it'll turn red. If not, we'll go over it with the red. We'll mask it off again and we'll go with the red, okay?
Okay.
So the windows come out all right.
Warning on the super glue bottle. Bond skin in seconds.
Yeah, it does too. Looks real good on skin, doesn't it?
I once got pieces of foam stuck to my finger just because I used this stuff.
So we need two taillights,
We'll talk while we wait.
and they have curves, and you wanted the curves on the outside edges, right?
Yeah.
So that makes that one, and that one. So they go on that way. So let's open our super glue, and you gotta be careful opening this stuff, especially if someone's already squished it a bunch like you were doing,
Yeah.
because it'll make it pressurized, and when you finally open it, it'll just squirt out everywhere. I don't know if this has been opened all right or not. Yeah, it's open. It's already been opened. Let me show how on my fingers. I want to glue myself to the car, right? So when we do this, we're just going to want a little bit. You know what we ought to do first?
Yep.
Let's make sure they fit again. Our wood might have swelled up with the finish.
Yeah.
Make sure they still fit, and we don't have to clean the holes up any. Yeah, it's a little snug, isn't it? Think we can get them in there?
I think we can get them in there.
Let's try this one here. That one will fit.
We have made not very many sacrifices to make this car.
I think it'll go. It's going to be tight, but I think it'll go. We want it to be snug. We don't want to pop out, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see if we can get some glue in here. Enough glue to hold it in there. It's going to soak into the wood, which is going to make it a little hard, but hopefully you'll have enough glue that it'll stick. Like that. What do you think?
I like it.
Pretty good. Buff them off when we're done, right? Fingerprints all over them. But they got taillights!
Yep.
Alright.
It's beginning to look stylish.
Get the glue cleaned up here, closed up so we don't get glue everywhere.
Because we don't need it anymore. Probably ought to keep two of that down here.
So the headlights are what's left.
And we can just tack them in.
Well, but I think the end grain is going to make them want to go crooked. So I think what we need to do is we need to get one and a nail.
You're going to put the nail through it. If we can get a hold of the nail.
So we need to figure out where they're going to go. So we can put a hole in there and start the hole.
Yep.
Because otherwise we might end up with them crooked. We don't want them crooked, right? So we got to figure out where we want it.
And then we stab it where we want it.
I don't think this is going to stab it. I think this is too big to get through it.
So drill and stab?
I think we'll use a drill. So is that right we want it? I think I have a tiny, tiny little drill we can turn with our fingers.
Yeah.
I have this little tiny bronze hammer that might fit.
Well, he really does have a bronze hammer. I kid not. Made of real bronze, I think.
You know why it's made of bronze?
So it hits real soft, like.
It doesn't mar the surface, but more importantly, it doesn't spark. There are certain jobs that you don't want sparks in. And if you got to tap on something or hit something, you don't want sparks. So bronze doesn't spark.
Good miner hammer.
Yeah, I guess if you were in a coal mine or something, that might be a reason.
Kind of sounded like a minor act.
All right, you want them next to each other, right?
Yep. Kind of look like little glue dots on there.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting side by side. Gotta build it, race it, and win it.
Well, there's a lot of other cars. We might not win. That's only part of it, right?
Yep.
Fun part's building it.
Yep. It's always all about the building.
That's the fun part, building
Yeah,
the car.
to me that's the fun part, funnest part. But I guess if you want a big gold trophy on your shelf like I do, go ahead and win.
All right, what do you think about the headlights? They gonna work?
I like it a lot.
We might put something in the middle still to, separate them. Let's see. All right, any other headlights?
I made the decision from seeing double headlighted Dodge in a magazine.
All right, so we got headlights.
And a little room for emblem.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to figure out something to put on there, right? All right, so
It really is redden up.
kind of. We're getting a little silver on it from our bumper now, though, because I got silver all on my fingers.
Yep.
We'll have to wash her off. Buff it off, because I'm getting this silver everywhere, because I have my fingers silvered up.
Maybe we ought to put a piece of bolt in that back hole to get her heavier.
What? We need a scale, remember? You're jumping the gun again, bud. We don't know how much it weighs, because our scale died. We still need to come up with some kind of emblem for the front, I think, between those headlights.
Yeah.
See that space between the headlights?
Yeah.
I think we need something to put there. We'll have to see what we got. What do you think we put there? A little piece of plastic or something is what we need.
Alright. So we got a bit of paint can lid.
A little bit of plastic. We want to put in the middle here, right?
Yep. And maybe we'll have a little left over for the back.
I don't know. So I think we should start by just cutting it in half right down the middle.
Yep.
Because we can't go bigger than that center anyway. And then I think
One side for each.
I might cut the rest of that end out. And let's see if we can square it up. We'll shorten it up after we get it square. Right?
Yep.
Well, that is about the extent of how big a plastic we can get. A little bit, he's trimmed a little bit more here. Come here. Fingers. So, is that going to be tall enough? It's almost perfect. Look at that.
Yeah, almost perfect.
Alright, so that's almost the perfect height. We just need to get it squared up and make the right length.
These are the official Pinewood Derby wheels.
Yep, those are the ones you're supposed to use. We have some others, but they're not official.
Wonder why they need to be official.
Well, so everybody's fair. There's a lot of ways you can make a car faster by making different wheels for it. Alright, what do you think? Good enough?
Good enough.
We'll try to get the RT on this one too. Line. Okay, so we're going to try to glue these on, right?
Yep.
So we decided this fat one here, that was for the front, between the headlights, right?
Yep. Fatty McFat one is right up there. Unless you want the fat one on the back.
Well, they're different sizes, so. See if we can get this lined up and glued on. Think.
I like a lot.
Let's see if that'll stick. Might fall off. I don't know if that glue wants to stick to the wood like that. We'll have to see.
Says it sticks to everything but metal.
Hmm.
But of course, never read what it says. Unless it's a warning.
And that one's going to go like that. Good?
Yeah.
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to wait for it dry, and then I think we need to put like a clear coat on it.
Okay. So, we did a few things off camera, like add weights. But since our scale is completely useless, we don't know what they weigh.
Right, so I put weights in the bottom, but we need to get our scale just washers, so we can get our scale fixed, and then we'd be able to see how much it actually weighs, right? But we also added the hood scoop.
Is it glued on now?
It is.
Ah.
Remember we used silicone.
That dried up silicone.
Right, we had a bad tube of silicone that we used, but we got our hood scoop out of these old model parts. So when I was a kid, I used to build plastic models, and look, we have an extra one.
Aha.
And I didn't use all these parts, so we had a hood scoop there that's just the right size, so we just glued that on, right?
Yep.
So that was nice. And what else did we add? We added some letters. We wrote the RT on the front and RT on the sides. And a license plate. I don't know if they saw us do that. But basically, we got it all done now, though, right?
Yep.
So the wheels are on it. They roll.
Now we just probably ought to make a test slope for it.
Yeah, we probably ought to test it and see if it's going to go down the hill good, right?
Probably ought to also do that on camera.
Well, I don't know if we're going to do that. We got to race it here pretty soon. So next weekend's the race. So we kind of cut it close already, right?
Yeah.
We kind of already cut it close. So what else you want to say about it? Came out all right, right?
Came out all right. Pretty good.
Well, keep it on camera. They can't see if you're, got up by your face.
The headlights look like they kind of have bulbs in them because of the tacks.
Because of the tacks. Did they clear up after the clear coat? I was hoping because remember we cut them off? Yeah, see the clear coat filled that sanding we did?
Yeah.
Because remember we had to sand them?
Yep.
But when I sprayed the clear coat over the whole thing, because we didn't want our paint to rub off, so we clear coated over it, and when I did that, it also cleared up our lenses again after we sanded them. So they look pretty good right there, right?
Yep.
I like them, and the taillights came out okay.
A little bit of clear coat on those too.
Yeah, I clear coated those too. It made them a little shinier, and the whole car got a little shinier. Our windows look pretty good. Wheels work. We'll have to give her a go and see if it'll run this weekend, right?
Yep.
It's been fun, right?
Yeah, it's been fun.
You know, it took us about 8 hours to build this in the shop. You did a really good job. For 8 hours you were working on this thing because I could count the time on the camera. So for 8 hours you were working on this. That's a long time. That's the longest we ever worked on one, I think. SpongeBob car didn't take that long. I think SpongeBob car only took like 2.5 hours, right? Because it was mostly just making it pointy. This one took a very long time. You did a good job.